smaller businesses, I have this theory that smaller businesses are going to thrive because corporations don't give a shit about you as a customer. They care about the shareholders. Whereas you guys, the people who are coming in here day to day are, keeping this place alive. They're paying for your livelihood. They're paying for your front of house workers' livelihood. But like when you explain that answer to me, it's like, oh, okay, well, it seems like everything is fair and balanced in this establishment. So that gives me more incentive to come because I know the server's being treated well. And that's
well, you're going to feel it because you're going to have a server who's happy to be here. Shit. Even if they're tired, they're like, I know I'm making good money. I know I work at a place where like my owners care. Like, I think it does help that we have an industry background. Like I was a host at Cracker Barrel. I was a server, cocktail server. I've been treated by guests certain ways. I've made minimum wage. Like, I'm not going to now be an owner who doesn't care. If anything, I care more than anyone of like my service team. Exactly. So I think they can feel that. And we do work hard to make sure people can have beyond a livable wage.
How's your day going so far?
It's good. Just getting started. I feel like I'm forced to be a night owl. So this is early for me. Yeah. In some ways.
What time are you going to bed typically?
So last night we closed at 11 and I'm out by like 12:30.
Oh, it's not
not terrible. Yeah, we're not a 2 a.m. spot, which is helpful.
Yeah. I'm sure in the earlier days when you were building this place out, it was early mornings, late nights. And what time were you going to bed during those?
Then it was like laying in bed with my eyes open, being like, you need some sleep, but thinking about all the things I could do. Luckily I had a partner who was like, you need to go to sleep.
Excellent. That's always good. My wife tells me that too. It's like, you need to go to bed.
Someone's got to tell you to do it sometimes.
Someone needs to look out for you. Yes. Let me make one quick adjustment. All right. Rapid fire question time.
Oh, okay.
Since you are a pioneer of the palate, you know what tastes good? Whataburger In-N-Out.
Oh, Whataburger.
Oh, that's so disappointing.
Oh,
okay.
Because you're from California.
I'm from California.
And I'm from Florida, so.
The reason why, fair. The reason why I like In-N-Out is because I get the same excellent service throughout every establishment.
Ooh, maybe I like the thrill of I don't know what's going to happen.
Whataburger, there's been a few places where I'm like, I don't really want to eat undercooked chicken, so I'm just going to, okay.
Well, I like the A-frame Whataburgers too, the architecture of it all.
Those are going by the wayside now. There's not too many around.
They're extinct, yeah.
I'll have to be on the lookout for that. Next time I pass one, I'll definitely get a Whataburger. Gin or vodka martini?
Okay. It's hard because I've always been a gin martini girly. Okay. And then lately that I'm on the dirty martini train, vodka. Because a dirty martini is just about the olive juice. Okay. So vodka. But big picture, gin.
Okay. I was just introduced to martinis. I've always been, I've always been an old-fashioned guy.
Yes.
And then my buddy, Sean, turned me on to dirty martinis.
Okay.
And
what do you think?
I love them to death.
Okay,
they go down like candy. But I'm not a fan of the olives, so I do a dirty martini with a twist.
Oh.
Gin.
Okay.
Is that bad? Good?
No, it is not bad.
Your take?
So we sell a lot of gin dirty martinis here. And it is interesting. A lot of times people order dirty martinis and they don't eat the olives, which I think is interesting because it's like, so you like the olive juice, but you don't want to eat an olive.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
I'll pass the olives to my wife because she loves the saltiness. It's a little bit too much for me, but the juice is perfect in it.
Yeah, but no, that's not weird at all. We see a lot of that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Blue cheese or ranch dressing for your buffalo wings?
Oh, I'm a ranch.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Classic, I guess. Okay. I don't know. Oh, are we gonna?
No, it's all right. It's all right. We're okay. That's right. I'm just creating stories in my head. It's fine.
Who am I?
So the purpose of this podcast is to interview interesting people doing interesting things in Austin, Texas. Hopefully we can go globally some point, but right now we'll just keep it in Austin.
Okay.
And you have a very unique story, and I've only heard about it through friends of friends and seen it online. But So I just wanted to come in and ask you a bunch of questions and figure out how you got to this place.
Okay.
And in hopes that it can inspire other people who might be thinking about making the jump of doing their own thing. Maybe that'll give them some education, because my education in starting a business has been just fail forward, build the plane as it's falling. So maybe we can help some people out who want to start their own bar. Would you call yourself a mixologist, or is that a bad term?
I mean, it's interesting now, not to get too far ahead, but now today I feel like I am more of a manager / coach, because I'm not behind the bar as much.
Right.
But mixologist or cocktail creator by trade for sure.
We'll get into a little bit more about that. So the way I like to start every podcast is the beginning. Yes. And I heard you're from Florida. Is that right?
I'm from Florida, yeah. So I was born in Michigan. My family quickly moved to Florida. Okay. My parents are old radio DJ hippies that traveled a lot, and then I guess decided to settle down in Florida.
Okay.
I'm the youngest, so by then I think they were kind of done traveling. Let's go somewhere that felt, I don't know, new or exciting or safe. I don't know. So Florida, Ocala, Florida, which is a big horse farm community. So really beautiful place to grow up. And so I was there until 2007. I went to college in Pensacola, Florida, up in the Panhandle.
Hell yeah.
And then I moved to Austin with a guy at the time because we came here for South by Southwest and was like, this city's awesome.
What year was that?
I guess that was 2006. I came to visit, and then I moved here in 2008.
Got it. All right.
So, been here a long time.
Did you go to college at Texas State?
Yes, I finished school at Texas State. I had like a year and a half left. Yeah, Bobcats.
Also, Ralph is also Bobcat. So
who is?
Ralph.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's how we met. We met
Did
through
you
college.
go there?
I did go there.
Oh, okay, Bobcats.
Yeah, I met him at Fall's 4th floor.
Okay.
There's another saying to that line, but we can't say it on camera.
Okay, next time.
But
next episode.
Okay. Where did you stay in Texas State?
So I just
Marcus?
was commuting.
Oh,
so that was a big deal. At the time I was working downtown at a hotel. It was called the Intercontinental Hotel. Yeah. It's a different hotel now, but it's across from the Driscoll.
Okay.
There's a bar called the Stephen F. Austin, and I worked as a cocktail waitress there. So I was there full time, work until 2 a.m., if not later, and going to school full time to finish my degree in communication studies.
What kind of led you to that, to want to get that degree?
So I feel like I'm someone who grew up not knowing what I wanted to do.
Same.
Probably like lots of people. Maybe not everyone admits it, but like growing up, I remember in school they had us take a test or like a quiz of like, what would you want to do? And anything it led me to, I remember it being like, you could be a nurse or a teacher, or that was kind of it. And I was like, okay. So, but none of those really drew me in. So I was like, well, I really like psychology, or like the idea of like how we think and how we interact with people, different styles of how we behave. So I originally went for psychology. And then when I got to the statistics and math part, I changed my major to communication studies.
Math is
I'm not good at math.
Yeah, math is not my strong point.
Yeah.
I still have to...
Yes, thank God for phones and calculators. Exactly. So communication studies I really liked because I had a minor in psychology, and the communication studies part, it wasn't like PR, it was more like leadership, how to do public speaking, which was extremely helpful because I was very shy and have stage fright, and it really forced me. I had a great teacher who just forced you to do it over and over until you had like the muscle memory of like, I'm sweating and I'm really nervous, but my mouth is moving and I'm doing it. So that helped me a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you decided to go to college, were your parents, did they guide you on, hey, this is kind of the path you should take, or here's what we learned?
Yeah.
Was there any guidance?
I did have parents who were like, you go to college, that's what you do. So I may not parent that way if I have children in the future because of honestly just how expensive it is. Yep. I do agree with the like, you should do it because you can learn and grow, but I think you can do that in a lot of different ways, jobs, etc. But I was lucky I had a scholarship in Florida where most of it was paid for. And then when I wanted to move, my mom was like, okay, well, you're on your own. We're not going to pay for out-of-state tuition and all of that.
Right.
So definitely learned to be independent financially in that way. But yeah, they definitely encouraged me to go to college.
That's such a weird thing. My parents said the same thing. Go to college. Okay.
That's what you do.
What? And then what? And
but
they go,
then what?
The universe will take
care
of you. They'll give you copious amounts of money.
You'll learn something.
You'll learn something. Yeah. You'll get a retirement plan. You'll get health insurance. Yeah. That's what you're going to get out of college.
Totally.
Like, okay, sure.
Yeah, but now I have debt. Yeah. And...
Which, like... another reason why I want to do these podcasts is because I felt like our education system really didn't teach us a lot of how to be an adult.
Yeah.
They didn't teach us about credit cards. They didn't teach us about retirement plans.
Yeah.
They didn't teach us about
how to change your oil.
Exactly. Another thing, like being a parent, like I'm learning all these how to be a parent through my friends who are going through it.
Yeah.
And it sounds frightening. Oh my God, the stuff that they're going through. And
the
I'm
sacrifice, all of it.
Exactly. Like they didn't, I wish that's the part of the education that I got, because that would better prepare me for, my time now. But anyways, I digress. Well, I don't digress. I went to Texas State for mass comm, electronic media, doing stuff for the news.
Okay, nice.
That's where
I guess we're not too far off.
We're not. And I feel like at that time, YouTube was becoming a new thing. And now it is my go-to education point to learn how to do something new with my camera. Do you think, like, to become a good bartender, you can learn those skills through the internet, through YouTube, or do you need to go to, like, someone to actually have hands-on experience and learn that?
I feel like you could learn, like, the skills of, like, okay, this is the recipe for this drink. Let me memorize that recipe. And now I can go somewhere if I get hired and make that drink with that recipe. But that's not really teaching you how to bartend. I feel like it is a trade where, like, experience does help you grow. Like, you kind of just have to do it and be thrown into it, which is not always the case anymore. I mean, people need jobs. They don't have 10 years to, like, be an apprentice and learn all these things.
Sure.
But some of it's innate. I feel like it takes a certain personality who's willing to be flexible and resilient and deal with different personalities. Like, a great bartender is someone who's not just there for them and to make a drink, but it's like you're hosting and curating, taking care of people ultimately. So some of it you can't necessarily teach, but you could learn through experience, I think. So I feel like YouTube is great if you need to learn how to, like, install a toilet or, like, do something on your car or learn something, sure. But the experience, I think, behind the bar has to, like, be real life experience.
Yeah, you can't really deal with the angry customer.
Yeah, you have no idea until you, And how will you react until you know and, experiencing it.
Got it. Okay. So you graduated college, correct?
Yes.
Okay. After that, did you have a game plan? Did you know what you wanted it to do?
So when I graduated, I was still working at the hotel full time.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, I really like bartending. And one of my friends at the time was like, oh, I started working at this restaurant called Key, which was Paul Key, who was top chef at the time. And she's like, and they just want someone with a good attitude. Like, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
For such an established location,
and
that's
all
you need. That's a barrier to entry, a good attitude.
Right. And I was like, well, I don't really know cocktails that well. I don't have the experience. My resume was kind of like Cracker Barrel was my first industry job.
Which we'll go back to that here a bit.
And then Thread Gills, which is an Austin OG spot.
R.I.P.
And then the hotel. And then one little local restaurant. And then the hotel again. And then that was kind of it. And I was in school. Anyways, so she's like, you should just apply. So I did. And I remember getting there and, like, I didn't even know how to hold a Japanese jigger. I was very out of my element, didn't know what half the ingredients were. But Justin Elliott, who's one of my mentors now, was like, take your time, just do it. Like, we'll help you. And so took my time. I remember feeling the pressure from the other bartenders of, like, we got to get these drinks out. Like, what is she doing?
I'm sure those.
And he was like, let her take her time. And so he, like, walked me through it, let me do it. And then he's like, how about you take the tools home and practice and come back? Wow. So he gave me a second chance to come back because I think he must have seen something. Yeah. Maybe a good attitude, probably. And then I came back and had more practice. And he was like, okay, great. We want to hire you.
How penetrative were those eyeballs when you're learning to do the...
Oh my gosh. Like, talk about stage fright. That's the ultimate stage fright is you're making drinks that need to go to a guest and you have experienced bartenders who are probably annoyed that you're there.
Right.
Taking up time and jeopardizing their guest experience.
Yeah.
So you can learn and you're probably not doing very good. So...
Like, yeah, I'm sure their stress level and anxiety is building upon you just fumbling through making a drink. But
yeah,
I can't imagine that type of pressure. Holy smokes.
Yeah, a lot of stage fright there. But then to have someone be like, just take your time and do it right.
Yeah, that's
which is
a
good lesson to learn of, like, being that type of coach.
oh God, there's so many different tangents I want to go off to, but the main thing that I want to come back to is Cracker Barrel.
Oh, yes.
Which, one, how is your playing skill at peg solitaire?
Oh, pegs. I'm pretty good.
Really?
I'm not a Uranus or whatever they call you.
I was just the basic one, whatever that third level one was called. But which location did you serve at?
So I was in Tallahassee, Florida.
Okay.
Started as a host, moved to a server, then was a trainer.
Got it.
So got my red apron, which means you're a trainer with the 4 stars. And then I moved to Round Rock. Well, I didn't live in Round Rock, but I moved to Austin. And when I moved there, you could transfer locations, which is really nice for Cracker Barrel. Okay. They'll just put you at a new location. So I commuted and worked at the Round Rock location.
Okay. Yeah. My parents used to live in Midland, Texas.
Oh, nice.
Cracker Barrel was like the only restaurant that I would go to in that area because they provided good service and the food came out hot.
Yes.
Everywhere else in that damn city, it was shitty service, shitty food. And I'm like, guys, what are we doing here? You guys are getting in an argument because the server's not coming fast enough. Yeah. Let's just stay home. This is a terrible experience.
Yeah.
So going through the Cracker Barrel experience, what did you learn from that?
I mean, I do think there's something to say for corporate workplaces, that at least corporate workplaces who have it buttoned up and do it well. And I think Cracker Barrel was definitely one of those. I felt like the systems made sense. It was all rooted in hospitality, but also rooted in like being fast, being quality, just like getting it done. And I feel like I really thrived in that of like, this is the way things are supposed to be. Yeah. And so I do it that way and I take care of it and I get it done. But you're also there for the guests. Yeah. So
pause for picture.
Uh-oh. John got a new camera.
Oh, awesome. What kind did you get? Hell yeah. Little point and shoot.
Yeah, it's a digital, but it looks like film. So it's really nice.
Excellent.
John's the photographer.
Hell yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, the lighting's really good.
And that's a beautiful thing about digital cameras nowadays is it while the upfront cost is really expensive, I don't think it's nearly expensive to process photos now. And I think the learning curve is a lot quicker. Yes. Because back in the day, you take a photo, you had to get it developed, and you came back and like, oh shit, my photos suck.
Or you paid all that money and they didn't even turn out.
Yeah. So
it's nice. It's working out.
It's very, I'm a big fan of digital photography now. And getting into film is not something I will ever do just because it's so expensive. And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of those careers, I feel like the equipment is the hard part.
So you start bartending at
I
can't pronounce this. What we?
Oh, Key. Yeah, QUI. So Paul Key was on Top Chef, and then he opened his flagship restaurant. Okay. He was doing Eastside King's trailers as well.
Got it.
So Key opened on East 6th Street. It's where Ramen Tatsuya is now. Okay. But it was a tasting menu that was all Filipino inspired. So a lot of ingredients I didn't know necessarily. Yeah. But yeah, I started bartending there. I had great leadership, great mentor. Started working with one of my dear friends now, Lauren, who I just learned a lot from. I felt like everyone who was there was really passionate and cared. And so I got to learn how to create drinks, how to put drinks on a menu to make a menu make sense. Just the full gamut of like how things go together, which I really like. I feel like my mind works like that, where it's like, what does this taste like? What does this taste like? How do you put them together to make something new?
It seems like you just got a master's degree in how to run a successful establishment all in that one location.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
When you was there something that you liked about bartending?
Yeah. I mean, I think the physical kind of repetitiveness I actually really like. Like, I love setting up and breaking down. Something about, like, this sounds boring probably more than the bartending part, but like literally setting up your station and getting it all ready.
Your mise en place.
Yeah, your mise en place. I love that part. I just love the like method of setting it up. And then the bartending side, like, I'm not someone who will say like, oh, I love people. Like, not a lot of people love people.
No.
But I like taking care of people. Yeah. I like when you come in and it's like, oh, they're on a date. Like, I'm like reading the room, seeing what you need. Or like, oh, this person is just reading their book and wants to be left alone. Like, I really like that part, which is probably why I like psychology too, is like, just like, what do people need? What are they doing? Everyone's different. Like, how can I help host, essentially? I really like that part.
Was there certain characteristics that you picked up on individuals that kind of told you their temperament, their demeanor?
It's body language for sure. Yeah. Lots of body language. Like words, of course, but, sometimes people's questions, it's like what's really deep down in there. Like if someone's asking you like, what's your favorite drink? It's like, oh, are they just timid and don't know what to ask for themselves?
Yeah.
Or like, you know, you learn to kind of read someone of what they're there for, essentially.
Did you, as you became a bartender, as you're going through this process, was there certain spirits that you picked up on that you liked more so than you thought you would like? Like, how is your palate being accustomed to this new job?
Yeah, so being there, I fell in love with like Japanese whiskey for sure. I was really into a lot of darker spirits like rum and bourbon. And then learning a lot about just like really interesting vermouths, things that like, sure, you could just have a dry, sweet vermouth or a blanc, but like there's so many different ones that are Spanish, Italian, French. So just finding the nuance within spirits I really liked. But yeah, back then it was a lot of like rum and bourbon and darker spirits for me.
How long did it feel like, or how long did it take for you to just be able to get in your workflow during like a rush or something like that?
Like you mean like
how long did it take for you to get comfortable in a rush? I should have phrased that better.
I feel like I guess it took, I mean, maybe at least 6 months at Key before I felt like less shy. Again, like the stage fright always played a part. I definitely felt better having another bartender there with me to like mirror partially of like, okay, they're doing it this way, I'm going to do it this way, or like watching how they handled guests. And then, you know, the first shift when you're by yourself, you're kind of like, I'm all alone. What's going to happen?
The world's going to collapse on me.
Yeah. But again, I feel like it's the experience. Like you have to do something and experience it to be like, oh, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
Like same with public speaking in college. It's like, I'm terrified. I feel like I'm going to pee my pants, but I do it and it's fine. And so I felt the wave of like the anxiety and everything was fine. Or maybe it was weird and something weird happened, but then at the end you're fine. So I think experiencing that in bartending helped a lot to get more confident.
Were you doing anything outside of the restaurant to become more comfortable in your craft?
What was I doing back
just
then?
Relaxing, not trying to relive the stress of the day?
Yeah,
or?
I am an introvert naturally, so I recharge my battery being alone.
That's
probably
fair.
Just resting.
No, my wife is the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's a wound care nurse, and all she does is deal with nurses, doctors, patients.
You give all your energy.
Exactly. And the last thing she wants to do is go out. And I like over the course of 6 years, I realized, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
You do you. We need you in society to be your best every day. So that's
you
totally
got to recharge.
fine.
Yeah.
And me being stuck at home, I feel like I get more energized the more I go out because my two cats at home, they really don't talk back to me. So,
but they are cute, I bet.
They're very cute.
Okay.
They're also very hairy. I haven't worn these pants in a while, and in the car.
Are you seeing the hair?
Well, not yet, because I did like in the car. I was just like wiping it all off.
They're with you always.
But yeah, I gotta put the pants in a higher rack of the shelf. So, as you kind of go through this experience, when did you make your way to Olame? And how did that come to be?
So I was at Key.
Yeah.
Long story short, it was kind of like, okay, the restaurant might close. Was kind of the rumor. And I had another mentor there named Bill Mann who was like always rooting me on. He was kind of like the consultant / GM at the time.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, you know, this restaurant may close. I'm consulting on another project called Olame. I think you should go there.
Yeah.
They need a bar manager. Like they're building a bar. They didn't necessarily have like a proper bar. I had never heard of Olame. Again, I kind of felt like imposter syndrome of like, I don't know how to do that, or that's scary.
Yeah.
Why me? And so he was like, well, you should just apply and meet with the owners, Chef Michael and Chef Gray at the time. And so they were like, yeah, we're hiring a bar manager. Essentially, we don't have a bar with seats. It's a window in the kitchen where they were serving drinks as like a service well, essentially.
Yeah.
Very small menu, all Texas spirits only. So very curated, very small. And they were like, but we want to grow and like build a bar. So I ended up really liking them. I appreciated that the owners like actually sat down and talked to me. Felt very personal. I feel like that made all the difference of like, oh, okay, seems like they want me here and I think I could do this.
What were some of the reasons why that bar may have closed? Did they explain that to you? Did you find out later? And are you comfortable talking about it?
Yeah, I mean, certainly some issues with the chef's public persona.
Oh, okay. Not familiar with that.
Yeah. So things to do with him. And then also, I mean, I imagine it was just hard running a tasting menu back then. There weren't many like it. Maybe barley swine was the biggest one back then, but for Key, it was just very specific. Maybe it was just like too soon for the city.
Yeah.
Versus now, I feel like it would probably do really well.
Wow. That sucks. That timing is an issue in an establishment.
I think so.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I think of bars that aren't around anymore, like cocktail bars. Like when I moved here, there was a bar called the Good Night. It was just really cool.
Heard about it, never went.
I feel like people would love it now.
Yeah.
They loved it then, but I'm like, if it came back, I think it would be really popular. So yeah, timing is important.
Other than managing people's personas, is there anything that you can really do to help protect the livelihood of an establishment other than economic forces and stuff like that?
But I'm like money.
But that exposure for that chef, that that bad PR that gets out, and that can hurt an establishment.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned marketing before. I feel like marketing is a huge part, like marketing yourself and that's something I did at Olame for myself. I got really into social media of I'm going to post every drink I make. I'm going to show my personality of here I am at this little bar. Maybe you don't go to Olame or don't know who I am, but I'm going to show it online and then maybe people will see it and you'll grow. I feel like that's a big thing because
that's huge.
Not everyone's going to come in and meet you and talk to you, but they, most people are online, so
they certainly drink with their eyes and eat with their eyes. So I mean,
and at least decide who you are based on what they see.
Yeah, I mean, what got me here in this establishment was seeing that smash burger. I love smash burgers. Yeah, it came in and I was pleasantly surprised at how awesome it was.
Yes.
Okay, so social media marketing is a good thing for establishment. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's huge now. I kind of think you have to have it.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Sure. All right. So you get to Olame and you're designing the cocktail menu.
Yes. So they bought a vintage bar from Round Top, Texas that was just a bar front with 2 shelves underneath. And they're like, okay, here's your bar and here's some shelves behind you. So it was like, okay. And Bill Mann and the owner Michael were like, just do a classics menu, do 6 or 7 classics with a riff on it. So if you're going to do an old fashioned, do a mole old fashioned, or if you're going to do an aviation, make it a lavender aviation, or just do classics that'll sell with a little twist. So I was like, okay, great. So it was nice to have an outline. I think that helped me for my first solo full menu. And then certainly I had experience at Key already, which was nice of I had drinks on a menu and saw how you cost things and all of that. And then I will say as far as the internet, there are a lot of tools on there for formulas. There's lots of tools on how to cost cocktails to a certain percentage and all of that.
Cost, you mean pricing them out? Okay, got it. All right.
To where you can see okay, this drink technically costs $2.12. At this percentage, I'll put it on at 15 or whatever it may be. So that helped a lot. And then I think I was just really well versed in classics at the time, so it played into a strength for me.
Sure. Now, when they brought you that bar, logistically, did anything go through your head? I'm like, oh, that's not enough space. Oh, I wish the shelf was here. Was there any? What gears were turning when you saw that bar?
I feel like it kind of brought me back to the hotel where it was kind of you just get it done, in whatever way possible. Okay, there's 2 flights of stairs and I'm carrying a whole tray of food. The stairs are blocked off because someone spilled something. Okay, I'm going to run down and get on the elevator. You just get it done. And that's kind of how I felt seeing it. Was okay, well, there's no dump bucket. There's nowhere to rinse my tools. All right, I'll get a Cambro and try it that way. And kind of trial and error of what works for just makeshifting a bar, using a Yeti cooler for the ice instead of having a proper well. It really was just DIY, what's going to work.
Yeah.
But that was fun to me. I thought it was cool.
Are you familiar with the show The Bear? I think that exposed an audience of how a restaurant could be a logistical nightmare.
Totally.
But also, if you could design it in a perfect world, it could save you time. It could save you money. And I don't know. For immediately, as soon as you told me they brought you a bar, I'm like, well, why didn't they consult you what you needed?
Right.
But how do you balance the aesthetic of what it needs to look like versus the logistical things that need to happen behind a bar?
That's really hard, and that's what to fast forward a little bit to Holiday, I learned a lot about is this was an empty shell, and it's okay, where's the bar, where are the wells, where do you want the hand sinks? Okay, well, the hand sink can't go there because of this health code.
Yep.
Oh, well, this the contractor built this smaller, so now it's like this. Like, your dreams and plans can be as perfect as you want, but like then there are rules and things that happen when you're building that change it.
Going back to Olame, what was your favorite drink that you designed while you were there, or that you crafted while you were there?
I think one that sticks out immediately is called Whiskey A Go-Go.
Okay.
It's kind of in between a Manhattan and a Boulevardier maybe, but it was equal parts rye whiskey. Or I guess it was 1.5 ounce rye whiskey and then 3/4 Montenegro and Maletti with cardamom bitters and a lemon peel. And we had 2 lawyers because Olame is in a lawyer neighborhood who would come in and just slam them every day. And I was like, okay, that must be a good drink. I think I did it.
Was that a kind of an indicator of like the drink that you made actually was a hit? It's just you kept getting...
I think I certainly make drinks for the crowd.
Sure.
I don't want to make it just to be esoteric, like, oh, industry bartenders like it or I really like it. I want everyone to like it.
Yeah.
So I feel like the higher volume of it moving to me is a sign of success.
Do you take it personally when like the drink that you thought of in your head was going to like hit and then all of a sudden no one's ordering it? Do you take that personally?
It's a bummer, but I feel like at this point I've learned to kill my ego and I'm like, I feel like if something doesn't work, I can usually understand why. Like, oh, well, it is a little bitter, or, oh, I can see, I don't know, that like maybe it would be better on the rocks. Or, you know, I think I can justify it now. Before, maybe I took it more personally because I just was so invested in the creative process. But now I'm more invested in like the business side. So I think I'm like, well, if it's not working, I'll just change it. Yeah. Whatever.
I'm kind of very much to that. I feel that in the same way in the videos that I create. I'm like, okay, here's something that I created for you. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, and I'll reorder it, rearrange it, re-edit it. But there was this one instance where a musician told me I wanted to feel raw, and I go, okay, well, we'll do a walk and talk. And it was raw. It was shaky. It was the aesthetic that I saw another artist create, and I mimicked it. And I was like, I think this is going to work really well for everyone involved. And he's like, I think we need to shorten it. We need to straighten out the shots. We need to smooth it out. I'm like, no. I really believe, because of what you told me and what I've researched and what I looked at, the artist this is what you want. This is what's gonna work. And we went back and forth, and it was the only time in my career that I thought I know I'm right. Like you, I always second guess myself. I always have imposter syndrome, but this time I knew I was right. And so he's like, all right, fine, we'll send it out. And sure enough, everyone liked it. Everyone they had no comments about the shakiness of it. They had nothing. Like all the problems that he brought up, I'm like, they're not going to notice it. I promise.
I bet he's super appreciative that you stood your ground.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, this is how it's supposed to be. And eventually, it all worked out. But was there a moment in your career where you're like, no, I'm right on this one, and it worked out for you?
I feel like maybe a lot of them. Yeah. I feel like, I struggle with, I'm a very stubborn person. To the point where it can seem maybe argumentative sometimes, but it's because sometimes I do feel very strongly of like, I know I'm right. I know this will work. We need to do it this way. I think one here is doing table service. Here it was hard because we were starting out as like, okay, are we a cocktail bar or a restaurant? We're both. Austin doesn't always understand that. Other cities like New York, LA, they have lots of places like that where it's like Balthazar in New York. It is certainly a bar, everyone's drinking, but it's a restaurant. Like, just as an example. But so here it's like, we're going to have great food, but we want people to certainly know you don't need a reservation. You can just walk in and sit down. And you can just order a drink too. You don't have to order food. So it's like, because we wanted a casual feel for guests, we kind of a little bit struggled how to make that make sense to the public. So there was a question of like, should we have table service, or should we just have everyone like order at the bar?
What's the problem with the audience you're trying to market to? What's the problem with them not understanding that it is either?
I think it's guest expectations for sure. Like, it's like, oh, you're a restaurant, so I'm going to go and I'll have a table. Oh, can I make a reservation? Like, this is a restaurant. Why can't I make a reservation? Versus here, it's like, well, it's a bar. Remember bars where you didn't have a phone and you just walked in and you just sat? That's what we're doing. But we also have amazing food. Like, bars don't have to have just a food truck. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is a bar that has an equally amazing kitchen and team. Like, we want to be both. But we want you to feel, though, also that you don't have to come here to eat.
Right.
You could just sit and have one drink and leave. Like,
you
could do anything.
There's no such thing as one drink in this establishment.
Maybe
Yeah, maybe two.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think marketing it's hard because it's like you want to tell people, like, just show up. It's easy. Like, it's casual. But then, of course, there are some rules, like, well, when you show up with 10 people, like, let us help you find a table. Like, we get a lot of large groups because we're so casual.
Yeah.
And because we don't have reservations and we have the space. We have 2 big patios.
Yeah.
So we try to keep it as casual as possible. We do separate checks. Like, we allow all these things that make guests feel free, I guess. And sometimes that's confusing.
Yeah. We do credit card roulette, and then whoever, takes the bill, we just Venmo them afterwards, but they get the credit card points. So we try to make things, at least me and my friends try to make things easier for everybody. What was the biggest hurdle you had to get over when designing that bar menu for Olame?
At Olame, I feel like there is a certain extent of, like, you just have to get it done. There's a deadline.
Yeah. Bills have to be paid.
Yes.
Yep.
Maybe not everything will be perfect as you want it. Like, I think there's a certain point in cocktails where it's like, you got to just say it's done.
Yep.
And a lot of projects are like that, where you're like, at a certain point, it's done. So stop. Because you can keep going and going and going. So, yeah, I think just knowing when to say it's done, here's the menu, and move on.
Yeah, a lot of some of the musicians I work with, they kind of, I don't want to say suffer, but I'll say it. They suffer from that. It's like, oh, we need to retweak this part of the song.
Yeah.
And all I'm asking for is just put out your song on Spotify. Like I've heard the raw. You
could always change it.
Yeah, you could always change it. But I think, it is their artwork and it's their baby, so they want to make it as good as they can. But I feel like you can suffer from not releasing it out to the world because there's a lot of good things that could happen if you just put it out in the world.
Totally. Yeah.
So when did the idea to open up your own establishment come across your mind while working at Olame?
I always kind of thought about it because I think Olame showed me that I really like working alone and doing my own thing because I was so alone with that bar program. I really felt like I liked having my own thing that I could curate and make my way. And so in the back of my mind, I was always kind of like, it would be cool to have my own thing, but it never seemed possible. Because you never really hear about, like, how to do it, or, like, how is it possible? What does it take? What kind of money? How do you, like, who are you meeting that's talking about that, really? And I also knew I didn't want to do it alone, so I was always envisioning having at least one business partner. Fast forward to where we are now. Like, John is my business partner. He was a sous chef at Olame, and then our head chef, Peter, here was a cook at Olame as well. So, like, there was a connection there. I feel like that made more sense for me of, like, it's not just me reaching out, cold calling people, like, would you want to go into business? Or, like, would you want to open a bar? Or, like, figuring it out on my own. It did make sense of, like, I feel confident in who I am and what I can do. So I'm lucky I found someone who wanted to do a similar thing.
When you first started working at Olame, did they give you an idea of how much runway you guys had until things fell apart, I guess, or it closed down? Because
Key closed,
No, Olame, when it opened up. Yeah. Was there an idea of, like, hey, we need to hit profitability by month?
To be honest, I was given,
did they hide that from
freedom.
You? Okay.
It was kind of like, you do your thing.
But you didn't have that number in the back of your head, like, oh, this is the number.
Not really. Okay. So maybe in some ways that was great for me at the time of, like, up and coming, freedom to do what I want. Certainly I knew to hit the marks of, like, 20% or under for drinks, and a lot of my drinks were costed at, like, 12%.
Okay.
So I knew I was hitting a great beverage number.
Yeah.
And keeping the bar really tight. I kind of just knew naturally to do that, I guess.
Keeping it tight in the sense that you were going to generate revenue.
Yes. Okay. So, like, small inventory.
Yeah.
I think a big thing for me has always been, like, order as you go. Don't just stockpile liquor. Obviously, it doesn't go bad, but, like, month to month, it is nice to see things dwindling down versus you're just accruing. Keeping just the whole beverage side really tight so that maybe that's why there wasn't as many voices at me about, like, you need to fix this.
Do you think that's beneficial in explaining that information to staff? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Especially with, like, even if someone's like, hey, we're out of this, I'm like, let's make sure first. because I don't want to just order something and then, okay, now we have 2 bottles of it. And yeah, maybe it's only like $60 total, but that's, you know, that stuff adds up each month.
Yeah.
Where like, let's just be a little more precious of like, do we actually need it? Tighten up as much as you can. Because that's how you control a budget.
Yeah. Yep.
For sure.
That's very true. So what was the first step into open up Holiday?
So the first step was...
before you even do that,
yes.
Did you put in your 2 weeks notice at Elevate, or did you have conversations at least?
Yes, we had conversations. Okay. So leading up to it, there was lots of conversations about like, you know, very open of like, Chef Michael knew I was interested in the bar side and eventually having my own thing. And we had conversations about like, you know, would he ever open a bar? And he was always more like, I'm restaurant focused, focused on opening restaurants. So I knew that. And then when John, you know, reached out to me about like, would you want to do this? I certainly touched base with Michael again of like, you know, I might want to do my own thing. Like, is there anything here? Touching base, and it was kind of like, no, we're just focused on these restaurants. So I kind of had feelers out of like, it's not like they're opening a bar and I'm going to go open it with them. He was opening other restaurants, and I wanted something more bar focused for sure. I love bars within restaurants, obviously, but at that time I was like, I want something that is more bar and that I could spearhead.
Is it because you saw a need for it in the market, or is it just something that you wanted to do?
That's a good question. I feel like it was, maybe it was some confidence there of like, I feel like I have something to say that not any other bar is doing or saying. Yeah. Probably the hospitality side I thought was missing, as well as, I guess I probably felt pretty confident in like, I make really good drinks and I think more people should drink them. At Olame, you were kind of hidden a little bit. Yeah. But I was lucky because I got to use that to my benefit of like, I make all the drinks. This is my bar. Therefore, I can showcase them and make my name known and get to train a staff of like, here's how you bartend my way. So there's so many perks being at Olame that certainly helped me here. But yeah, there must have been some confidence there that I'm forgetting about to do what I was doing.
That's fair. I think you need a lot of confidence to say, hey, I'm going to put this out in the world and people are going to come. Like, that's such an arrogant thing to say, because what if nobody fucking comes to my place?
You're not good. You keep saying you're good, but you're not.
How did you kind of weather those voices in your head, like, oh my God, you're not qualified enough, or who the fuck, why do you think you can do it? You know, how did you put those voices to rest?
I mean, I guess it is just trial and error. Like I said, like if I see, you know, those 2 lawyers are drinking this drink over and over, and like they're not even necessarily there because of me, or they weren't even necessarily eating food half the time. Like they just love that drink, and this is a space where they felt comfortable, and that was part of their experience. That certainly was validation. Okay. Like I think seeing that instant kind of validation from guests is really helpful. Yeah. Of seeing like, I'm part of this experience and I'm curating it. And this drink is part of me curating their experience was validating. And then just kind of going off of that and ignoring the like, but what about all the drinks that people didn't like?
Bro,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Just forget about those. Just keep moving forward, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So first step in Open Up Holiday. What did you guys do?
So John reached out. It was COVID time still. We met at Better Half sitting outside. And he was like, you know, what's new? What's going on? Because John had already left Olame to open Kind of Tropical. Okay. So he's the owner there as well, up the street. And he had been there for a while and was like, you know, I want to open a cocktail bar. And I want to do it with you. And I was like, this is not good timing. This is crazy to think about leaving my job. So I was like, I need to think about it. Also, you know, for some transparency, like I didn't think I was financially in a place to do that. Yeah. So I am lucky I have a partner who, you know, figured out how to do things like that at Kind of Tropical. Yeah. And so working with him, I really think like, I couldn't do this without John as my partner for sure in a lot of aspects.
Okay. I think what made you settle on this location and why this, what made you settle on this location?
Yeah. So he had seen it for a while. It was like, I have my eyes on a space.
Really? Okay.
on this corner. Lots of people knew this building just because they're driving by.
Yeah.
So it was well known as like, oh yeah, that white building on the corner. This is an old auto body shop. Was a gas station for a while. So like that's the original architecture.
I can
overhang.
See it.
Yeah. The cars would drive in right where we're sitting.
Okay.
These were garage doors. The ground was like 2 feet lower for the cars to roll in. So a lot of history here. And so people recognize the building. John had recognized it so much because he was right up the street at Kind of Tropical. And there was a for lease sign when he reached out. Stumptown Coffee was supposed to go here.
Oh, okay.
But I guess because of COVID and just the timing, they had pulled out.
They're out of Portland, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, we were just there last weekend, and I saw it all
Portland.
over the place. Yeah, okay.
So they had pulled out, and I think he must have just called at the right time. And the realtor was like, yeah, it's for lease. The person who was going to lease it backed out, and we got in.
And this is all during 2020?
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have to get into numbers, but did you have a budget set out for renovating this space?
Yes, and then we blew it.
What?
So
that was a dumb question, but now I'm shocked. Okay.
We did. We had a budget. I think the budget would have made more sense if this was already built out a little more.
Okay.
But we were essentially working with the empty shell, and we're zoned as a restaurant. So that changed things a lot. We weren't just building a bar. Now we had to build a full kitchen with a grease trap.
Was that because of COVID times you couldn't operate because only restaurants could operate, or was that?
No, it's really more just zoning.
Oh,
so
okay.
most businesses zoned here have to be restaurants. I might be forgetting if there was loopholes, like maybe we could have had a food truck instead, but I think we had to, if we wanted food, it had to be a restaurant.
Okay. How much, because of that restriction, government restriction, if there wasn't that restriction in place, would things have been easier to open up?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think having a food truck tenant takes a lot of pressure off.
Sure.
Food is its own thing, which is also kind of why we were like, let's say we're a bar with great food, not just for the guest expectations, but for us too. Yeah. I mean, it is very hard to run a restaurant. The margins are very different than a bar. So yeah, I do think it would have been potentially easier with just a tenant who's cooking food.
Okay.
Than building it.
When you start renovating this place, how was it dealing with contractors?
So it was hard to find someone that we felt like we could trust because you just don't know.
Yes.
We're really lucky that our realtor had someone, like, we really got lucky with like suggestions of people.
Got it.
And we did interview quite a few people, contractors, and we felt like the guy that we met, Ryan Reynolds, just felt like very down to earth and more our speed of just like.
Did he give maximum effort?
Yes.
That's a Deadpool joke. Sorry.
Oh.
Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
That was a bad joke.
Edit this part out.
Yeah, no, it's staying in.
Like, what do you mean? His name's Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
The other Ryan Reynolds, our contractor. I think we liked his personality. He was down to earth, chill, and he had worked on other bar projects. Just felt like we could trust him.
That seems to be, Nomadic Brewing. They got recommendations from their real estate agent about who can, renovate. So it seems to be like you need to find yourself a good real estate agent who has connections.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because you are just going to ask, like, well, who did you work with?
Right.
You know? So
that word of mouth is very powerful when it comes to those types of situations.
Yeah.
What was the first, oh shit, we're in a bind moment when renovating this space? Or was there any moments like that?
Oh, the big one was the plumbing.
Plumbing, okay.
So we thought we had the lines already in place. There was no like proper floor plans here.
Okay. That's not shocking.
Like no plans about the roof or anything. So a lot of it was just kind of like, here are these new, there's new construction on a building that's older that there's not everything laid out on paper.
Yeah.
So one of them, I'm going to forget the exact logistics, but essentially we thought we were going to get our permit done for the plumbing and sewage and everything, and turns out the lines had been cut in the street. So everyone thought the lines were already in place, and then it's time to get the permit, and then they look and turns out they were cut and they aren't there. So then we got pushed back for some time as they figured out how to put that all in place. So something that we thought was there was not. And it's not till, someone's underground looking and figuring it out.
Now, I don't know the proper wording for this, but did the property owner give you some sort of allotment or a designated period of time to like, hey, you're not going to pay money? How long was that?
Yeah, we had a really nice runway of a year.
A year, wow.
Which was great.
Okay.
No rent.
Yeah.
And then our rent was at a certain rate, and now it goes up each year.
Okay.
And we have a 15-year lease,
which
is huge in Austin. A lot of landlords and owners aren't doing that anymore. You hear more about like 3 to 5 years. So we're really lucky.
Do you think now, as the bubble has kind of depleted in the rush to get to Austin, everyone was coming here. Do you think things are leveling out to where more establishments can get those opportunities of time allowed to just run a business?
From what I've heard, no. I'm hearing about a lot shorter leases from friends, and I think it's maybe because owners are like, well, I might want to sell it now that I could get so much money. I don't know. I'm just hearing about a lot of short leases.
But I feel like since there is more, there's more supply in the housing market, so I would assume that there's more supply in business vacancies, so maybe that would, I don't know, in my head, make the owner just be like, I'm not going to sell anytime soon because I'm not going to get the same money that I used to get in 2020.
I don't know, maybe it's a way to mitigate like a business that isn't doing well on your property. I don't really understand it, but I've heard a lot about shorter leases.
One of the beautiful things about Portland that I found out in talking with our bartender was like, rent is super cheap there because the city of Portland wants, businesses to stick around. And so I feel like there is some government interference in regards to rent control there that keeps establishments, at least the government is supporting these establishments that are trying to bring something new to the neighborhood. And that's why Portland is so vibrant. And
I don't know if Austin cares.
That's what I'm trying to not say. But to your point, I don't think Austin cares.
No.
I think we saw the
even
tech
just
industry.
Looking at downtown, you're like, what happened?
Yeah, exactly. Well, money happened. A lot of people with a lot of money came in and was like, hey, this is what we want.
Even just seeing all the hoops you have to jump through just to open a business is like the money, the time. Yeah. The time is money because you start paying rent. It's like, it really feels like they don't want local businesses because who can afford to do this?
Right. And
just to get open.
As a capitalist myself, I do appreciate that mindset. But one of the things that I love about food and cocktails is that it's made by individuals. It's made by human beings.
Right.
It's not made by a corporation. Like some of my favorite establishments, Nomadic Beer Works. I know the people there, and I want to buy their beer because I know they do good work and they care about the quality. But more importantly, they care about me as a customer. So I just don't understand why. I know why. It's money thing. Like people just want more money. Yeah.
There's less local businesses because it is too expensive.
But the thing is, like the all the reasons why people came to the city is because of these quirky little stores and opportunities to eat something different other than McDonald's and but don't get me wrong, I love McDonald's, especially when I'm hungover.
Time and place for everything.
Exactly. That's, I don't know how we got on that tangent, but okay. When did you sign the lease and when did you open your doors?
Okay, I think it was 2021.
Okay.
I'm forgetting which month, but we opened officially to the public, opened March 2023.
Okay. 2023.
Yeah.
That's 2 years from 21.
It's probably really like a year and 8 months kind of thing. Like it took a long time for construction and then it took a long time to get through the permitting to get open.
I would assume that in your hospitality experience and your bartending experience, that required a lot of patience.
Yes. So we did a lot of things like shopping for vintage plateware, which was really fun, or like lots of time to work on the opening menu, like tons of time. So, and then hiring. So we did get to be very intentional about opening, which felt really nice.
Okay.
Like no one's ever really fully ready to open. You're always like, are we ready? Did we train enough? Probably not. Yeah. Because a lot of stuff you can't do until you pass certain permitting. So even like getting the furniture in place, you can't do until you have your certificate of occupancy. Like all these things kind of had to wait. So you're like kind of like waiting, hurry and wait kind of attitude. Yeah. But it did help us with some things like sourcing and hiring really intentionally were the perks of waiting.
Okay. Going back to those shopping for antique.
Yes.
Are you an antiques person?
I love.
Oh my God.
Love it.
My wife and I recently went to Portland, and we went to this town called Aurora in Oregon. Nothing but antique shops.
Ooh, fun.
Is it?
Were you bored?
Okay, well, I will
say. What if they had a TV?
Well, I will say what they need is a bar in the vicinity, because that's what I did.
Then people
I'm like,
would
all right,
shop more.
Before we go into all these antique stores, let's go in there and get a beer, so that way I can get lubed up and I can.
And you're like, you know what? That is cute. Buy it.
I will say, going to an antique store, it is fun and unique because you get to see how different eras crafted their cocktail glasses.
Yeah,
and
that's a good point.
I saw a complete tiki bar set up. I'm like, actually, that's kind of cool. I wouldn't mind having that in my house.
Right.
But man, the glassware in each antique store was out of this world as far as supply.
Yeah.
So when you were shopping for these antique items, where did you source them from? Antique stores?
Yeah. Antique stores. Certainly you end up going to like Goodwill a lot.
Yeah.
Salvation Army. So the heavy hitters. But then there's one local store that I'll give a shout out to. It's the best, next to new on North Burnett Road, with the little St. David's Church ladies volunteering. Had the best for sure.
Okay.
And they do a system where like the original price says like whatever the price is, and then each week it drops down.
Got it.
So like, because I had the time, I could be watching items of like, okay, this set of plateware is this price, but I'm going to wait 3 weeks and then see if it's there. So I was really hunting things. And then that way you could end up finding a lot of stuff that matched, which was cool. You'd be like, oh, this Linux set, that someone, either passed or gave away, was from their wedding, and it's like normally like thousands of dollars. Well, now it's 200, and then a few weeks later I find a matching one. It's like really satisfying.
That's what I couldn't get. I couldn't get this question out of my head, is like, who's coming in here to buy this glassware at this price?
I had a lot of people come up to me when we were sourcing a lot of people came up and were like, oh, are you planning a wedding? Like assumed like we were hosting like this big party. I was like, no, but kind of like a different kind of party. So I was sourcing for a bar, but I saw a lot of ladies sourcing for weddings, which I thought was really cool, of like, oh yeah, what a smart way versus just rentals or spending a lot of money. You could just thrift all these beautiful items. But
then like, what are you doing with all those cups?
Maybe they go back.
Yeah. Okay. That's true.
I don't know.
That's very true.
Or they become your family heirlooms.
Okay. So that answers my question that I was constantly or smash them in one of those smash rooms that are now becoming popular.
Ooh, I did one of those when we opened.
Was it worth it?
Yes, worth every penny. I went to a rage room. I took a baseball bat to a laptop.
Better than going to therapy?
Bud Light bottles.
Oh my!
Therapy is also important, but this was very important.
This is
had a lot of
much
stress.
More like instantaneous.
Yes,
really.
I needed it, and once was enough, but it was good.
Now you're worried about glassware and whatnot. What are your other partners? What are they trying to acquire and shopping for?
Well, opening.
Yeah.
So definitely Chef was looking for like sourcing all of the pots and pans and all the smallwares for the kitchen. We used a local company called Maiden who makes really beautiful cookware. So he had a good connection there. And then, just kind of hunting like the best prices for things. Okay. And then the other end is John, who's the numbers guy, really looking at like, okay, wall hiring, let's plan and see what makes sense for labor costs and how many people do we actually need and all of that. And then all of the sourcing of like menu books and pens and matches.
There's so many options out there. Yeah.
And just everything.
It's amazing that you guys made all these decisions and made a unified, conscious decision to where it is now.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And a lot of it, we felt good. Like these chairs we got off Facebook Marketplace from a guy whose mom was a teacher. And
I was going to say, these are elementary school chairs,
yeah,
aren't they?
They're like real wood heavy elementary school chairs, which is pretty awesome. And they were like very inexpensive. Chairs are so expensive. These were like nothing. And then on the flip side, we ended up buying 300 plates wholesale that we just did not need, but didn't know. And you don't know that till you open and you're like, why do we get so many of those expensive plates?
Yeah. So like when a glass does break, that actually, oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's some where like the bar team is really sweet. They'll be like, this one chipped, but I'm going to set it on the top shelf for a little while. And I'm like, okay, thank you. So I can admire it. And then eventually I'm like, okay, let's throw it away.
Yeah. Then you'll forget about it.
It served its purpose.
Yeah. Oh, that's
say
nice
goodbye.
Of them.
Yeah. But it is sad. You have to get used to being like, yeah, it broke. It's vintage. you'll just have to find a new one.
When a plate broke at Cracker Barrel, were you as
I think we were like, whatever, get another plate, hurry up.
Oh man, there's a beautiful balance there. Like, yeah, Cracker Barrel offers great service, but it's a corporate entity.
Yes.
And here it's like you guys actually care about the glassware because you source it yourself.
Yeah, and it does. I mean, certainly seeing behind the curtain like that as an owner now, I am like, I think about everything. I'm like, be nice to the umbrellas. Like, be careful when you scoot that table. Like, you kind of feel like you understand more now why like either previous owners or even parents were like, be careful, be nice to that, like treat it with respect. And you're like, oh yeah, because it's all expensive and it matters. And
as customers, like, you be nice to the glassware when you go to a bar.
Don't steal it.
Yeah, don't steal it. Lauren, my wife. No, I'm kidding. She's never done that.
Whoa, calling her out.
Steak knives may have been thrown into her to-go box, but that was amazing. I was like, fine. I really like this steak knife. I paid $500 for this meal. Put it in.
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing that I'm always interested about is how do you staff a restaurant, a bar, because it seems like, I don't know how to phrase this, but how do you keep them? Mm-hmm. How do you keep the good ones?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the service industry, it's just kind of like a rotating door for individuals.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And a lot of time. And I think not everyone wants to put that time in.
Right.
I spend a lot of time thinking about everyone who works here, to a fault in the beginning, where like that was where therapy came in. I'm a people pleaser, so that really fed into my original management style and care of the team. And now it is certainly more balanced of like, I can still care and give my all for my team, but boundaries are healthy and like I need to not lose sleep over every little thing. But that care and intention is extremely important. And I think corporate places for sure are easy to pick on because they either don't have the time or there's not someone there who's giving that care and time to every certain person who has different needs and different schedules and different personalities. We're lucky we're small. I have 10 people front of house right now. Okay. And then an AGM with me, John. I am acting as the GM, and then we have our chef and 3 cooks, 2 dishwashers. So we are a small team. So it helps that we do have the time to take care of each individual. Yeah. So I guess time for the staff is the big one, and then money. Obviously, sure. You need to be paying a living wage. Yeah. Minimum wage is $2.13. We pay $8. And then making sure we tip pool for the week. Okay. So I work really hard on scheduling and keeping the tip pool very tight, which means I'm usually on the floor constantly. So is John. We are hands-on managers because otherwise I would need to hire 2 to 3 more servers, and then you don't make as much money. So
you're scaring me with these tip pooling and the way you're answering this is because I feel like is it something that is not talked about, or am I just such a newbie? Because is it not talked about?
I don't think it's talked about enough.
I'm scared.
Yeah. Well, and some people don't tip pool. So then if you're the server who worked a Tuesday night and made no money because it was slow and rainy, and then you're the server who worked a Friday and you made $500 because it was great and everyone's out spending money, how is that fair? And same goes for there are just natural biases within management of if someone seems like a strong server, maybe they get a bigger section. Well, that's not really fair to someone who maybe a manager sees as not a strong server. It's just going to be more fair with the tip pool. And I think it's more fair by the week versus by the day.
That's fascinating. I just have so many questions to ask you about that, but I don't want to bore the viewers or guests.
We can talk about it off camera forever.
Oh, yeah. That is, I don't know, that's really impressive. Mm-hmm. I think smaller businesses, I have this theory that smaller businesses are going to thrive because corporations don't give a shit about you as a customer. They care about the shareholders. Mm-hmm. Whereas you guys, the people who are coming in here day to day are, keeping this place alive. They're paying for your livelihood. They're paying for your front of house workers' livelihood. But like when you explain that answer to me, it's like, oh, okay, well, it seems like everything is fair and balanced in this establishment. So that gives me more incentive to come because I know the server's being treated well. And that's
Well, you're going to feel it because you're going to have a server who's happy to be
Holy
here.
shit.
Even if they're
Oh my
tired, they're like, I know I'm making good money. I know I work at a place where like my owners care. Like, I think it does help that we have an industry background. Like I was a host at Cracker Barrel. I was a server, cocktail server. I've been treated by guests certain ways. I've made minimum wage. Like, I'm not going to now be an owner who doesn't care. If anything, I care more than anyone of like my service team.
Exactly.
So I think they can feel that. And we do work hard to make sure people can have beyond a livable wage.
Amazing. Oh my God. Hopefully this episode comes out. I just got to get back to home, copy over the footage, and we'll be good. Because that's so valuable to businesses, especially like yourself. Is the consensus amongst your front of house workers obviously they feel happy because that's
I mean, it's one of my proudest moments for sure is that we have some staff here who have been here since we opened. Like Tatiana, one of our servers, she was the first person I hired, and she's been here since. And I hired her, a year before we opened. So that was the other thing. Like, some of these people believed in us, waiting for us to open, and are still here, which feels amazing.
It makes it seem like it's a part of, like, not owners, but there's a greater sense of responsibility for the team because like while server on Monday might not make that much, they know that they have someone on their team who's going to not pick up the slack but help out throughout the week and
it takes a lot of trust. It means that you trust all your coworkers to work as hard as you, even on a slow day. It means you need to value the business as a whole of like, okay, sure, Tuesday was slow and rainy. Does the Friday bartender who's busting ass fault that? Or do they see it as like it's all important?
Right.
So everyone has to trust each other, trust the business, trust the big picture, see that it matters as a whole. Yeah. And be willing to share, essentially. Is
what you're doing, is that against industry standard? Is that something new?
Yeah, by the week, tipping is not normal.
Yeah.
I think it's just more industry standard to do by the day.
Okay.
But all of the tips and everything go on the paycheck. So for us, you get paid bi-weekly. So it is just as easy. Yeah. If not easier sometimes.
Okay. Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
You just blew my mind. That's awesome.
I think a lot of small restaurants have started to do it.
Okay. They're starting to see the benefits of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Versus the daily.
Got it.
Because then you get staff who's like, you're not all fighting to work Friday.
Right.
It's like some people are happy to work Tuesday.
Yeah.
And not lose the busy shift.
And so upon your opening, what was some of the marketing budget devoted to? How did you guys handle that?
We got really lucky. I think because we all worked at Olame, have been in the industry, lived in Austin for over 10 years. We got a lot of press locally, just naturally. Yeah. I think Austin's dying to talk about the next new thing. Anything you see on Eater or any publication is like, new restaurant opening, new bar opening. Like they're hoping for something new. So we got really lucky. It was also 2023 where people are like fully unmasked and out, ready to spend money. So our timing was perfect. It's March. It's the best time in Austin.
It is, yep.
It was really a perfect storm of like local love, something new and shiny, post-COVID March in Austin.
Was that planned or just
no?
Okay.
We were trying to open in the fall of 2022.
Okay.
It did not work.
It didn't work out.
Yeah.
All right. And so timing
it worked out timing wise as far as like a good time to open. Financially it was more stressful of like we gotta hurry and open. But it worked out.
Okay.
It was a good opening.
So Eater just randomly okay.
Yeah, so we were lucky we had. And from my time at Olame, like I said, I had kind of made a name for myself.
Absolutely,
so I'd gotten write-ups and whatnot, and so did Peter at Locadoro, our chef, had been known over there, and John being at KT. Like, we did have kind of attention on us separately, and then when we came together, even more. So we got really lucky with that.
That's awesome.
And we kind of rode that. I mean, we didn't pay for anything marketing-wise. We did our own social media.
Was there a plan? Was there a marketing budget?
I always had a dream of having PR because I felt like it would help. But then once I saw, like, A, I really like doing the social media. Yeah. B, we could just pay for great photographers and great artists and illustrators, and then I could post it. Yeah. I learned like, yes, it is time consuming. It's not easy in that way, but it's easy in the sense of like, I like doing it and I can do it. So why would I pay for someone else to do it?
Right.
Same with influencers. I felt like they were coming in anyways and doing it anyways. I'll just repost every picture someone ever takes.
Yeah.
And I don't have to pay someone to come eat to take a picture. And it feels more authentic.
Okay.
So we do not pay influencers.
Thank you for reminding me about my influencer comment. So this is 2026.
Yes.
Everyone's trying to make a living doing social media, which, you know, I don't knock the hustle, but I believe there is a certain etiquette to go about it. And Austin Eater Taylor, he is a big, he promotes like, no, I go into the establishment, I give them my money, and then I create the content, and then on the back end, if they want to work with me for like, you know, social media stuff, then that's when we continue the conversation. But he actually pays his money to, you know, eat where he wants to eat and support
that means he's a fan too.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why people respect him and follow him and you know, love his content. So what in your way, what is the proper etiquette about going to not necessarily your establishment but any restaurant if you are a influencer?
I mean, I feel like asking for something when you haven't ever been there or don't even know who we are is going to rub someone the wrong way, certainly, because it's like, why would I give you something? You've given me nothing. Like you're saying, Austin Eater goes in and like makes that connection first, because also like we're a small business, we're not a corporation, we can't just like give everything away for free. And like if this is going to be a mutually benefiting relationship, like let's get to know each other. Like I want to know that I like you too as a person before I let you like post about our brand. What if we don't want to be connected or aren't like minded? Like all of that matters. Same way we work with certain artists and photographers is like they're people we actually like and want to support as well while they're supporting us. So I mean, we get a lot of DMs, which I appreciate some of the approach of like, hey, this is me, do you do collaborations? And then that's easier for me to say, oh, we don't actually, but hope to see
rocks,
you.
Kid. Get out of here.
We don't. But hope to see you in some time. And most people are like, oh, you know, no worries. Here's my portfolio if you're interested. But other times when it's like, it feels like they're kind of pulling a fast one almost of like, hey, you know, we'd love to come in. Well, would Sunday night work? And you're like, work for what? And you're like, oh, they're trying to do a thing. No. So anyways, there's no harm in asking.
Nope, never is.
And it works differently for everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that personal touch of like, hey, I really like your business. I've eaten there before. Would you want to work together? Like that's, I think, the best approach.
So 3 years in, what have you learned through these 3 years? What's the biggest thing you've taken away?
Oh, the biggest thing.
No, that's a very broad question, but
I have like a faraway look.
And there's no time constraint on this thing, so
the biggest thing.
Spill it.
Yeah. I mean, I think taking everything with a grain of salt, for sure. Like we talked about, like imposter syndrome or like how you get staff to stay or guests liking something or influencers wanting to work together. Like I think just taking everything with a grain of salt and seeing the big picture of like, don't lose your vision, don't lose your confidence of like, I feel very strongly about who I am and who Holiday is and who we are. So all these other things, do they fit within that? Why is it stressing me out so bad? Can I just talk about it in therapy and let it go? Is it something I need to address in a different way? Like, does it work towards our big picture in the future?
Yeah.
So I think seeing everything as like parts to that picture is maybe the biggest thing. You know, in the beginning, it was like seeing the bar shelves being built and they weren't built the way I wanted. I was in tears. I was so upset. I lost sleep for days. It was like, I can't believe it. You know, this is the worst thing ever. And now I can't imagine reacting like that. I would have been like, okay, well, good. I'm glad the shelves are done. Let's move on. So I've certainly gotten stronger in that way emotionally and just as a person, being able to handle more. So I think, yeah, that's the biggest thing I've learned is just like, don't lose sight of the big picture and what you're doing and why you're doing it, for sure.
Other than your mentors that has cultivated your experience and gotten you here, was there anyone in particular that you really admired in your industry, whether it be a bartender or, I don't know, manager? Was there anyone that you were like, I want to be like that person?
Yeah. There was a bar in New York called Nightcap. There's a woman named Natasha David that I just admired through social media and loved her style of drinks, loved the style of bartending she was doing. She seemed really cool and down to earth. Seemed really humble, but just made like these beautiful drinks in a really fun atmosphere.
Yeah.
I got to go to that bar before it closed. And I just loved her menu. It was like the perfect high-low of like really well-made, interesting ingredients that I knew were like cool and fun and all of this, but like wasn't too serious.
Yeah.
And I really liked that.
Okay.
I feel like that's something I take with me of like, it doesn't have to be so serious. You can still make very well-executed, awesome drinks that are respectable, but they can still be fun and light and hit all the different marks of like, really stiff, serious old fashioned, or like, just a dirty martini because it's fun and chuggable and everyone wants it, or, I really liked her style a lot.
Is the bar industry a male-dominated industry?
I feel like years ago I would have said yes, and maybe it is still.
Yeah.
But I feel like women are just getting so much more recognition now.
Yeah.
The spotlight is more on them, and it's a different spotlight. I feel like the spotlight used to be like, okay, a women's bartender pop-up, or like it's Women's Week, or like, look at this woman doing it. And now I feel like there's less of that in a good way, where it's just like, look at this bar team, or look at this person who's doing this. Like, I think we're just more equal a little bit more. I could be wrong. At least the way I'm viewing it, I feel that way. But there's always going to be some othering of like, that bar is awesome and it's led by a woman. And it's like, that is good, but it shouldn't be so outlandish to think about.
Yeah. And now how do you balance that? Because obviously men have dominated a lot of things for a long period of time. And I think there are certain moments where like, okay, that's a woman only thing. Like how much longer will those types of opportunities or events where it's women only, is it going to be a good thing when those dissolve and it's just, to your point, oh, we're going to this bar because it's a great bar, they provide great food,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't think it's bad they exist.
Right.
If anything, it's great. It's like highlighting a group of people, and like hyping it up. I think it's good. I just don't want it to be like the only opportunity of like gathering and of like, why don't we do like, I don't know, like an Asian bar pop-up or a bartenders from New York pop-up that comes to Austin. I don't know, any group.
Yeah.
I just hope to see more of that, of like certainly more like cultural pop-ups and more just different styles of bartending versus like, who are these people and can we clump them together?
Got it. Okay. That makes sense.
Because I like the perspectives a lot. Like I think it is important to have a balanced male to female kind of team.
Yeah.
Because it's different perspectives and different styles, and it just makes for a more balanced, smarter workplace.
Yeah. Did you ever ask your mentors why they were so kind and forgiving or gave you the opportunities?
Oh, I definitely talked to I talked to Justin Elliott a lot because when I won Star Chefs as a rising star bartender when we first opened, I brought him to the mentor dinner as my mentor, and we talked a lot about it, and he gave a very nice speech.
Oh, okay.
That was very sweet. He just said like that, he saw something in me of someone who is kind and willing to work hard, and he just I think he just saw that like, here's this person who cares essentially. So I do think about that. I'm like, why do I hire someone, or why do I take the time with someone? And it's like, I guess you just see something within them. Maybe it's even something you see within yourself within them.
Yeah.
Or you see like, I think they fit for holiday. Like I believe they will be part of the big picture that's important. And I like what they're going to bring to the team. So I imagine he must have seen that, like, or he might have been like, we need to hire, and here she is. And it's going to work because we need to hire. So I'm sure it's a mix, right? Of like seeing something in someone that's inspiring and that you see like as a fit to the big picture, and then also being like, well, and also we need someone in that position. Yeah.
They didn't have to be nice to you, but it's just, I don't know. That's a very special person to take. It is a risk, and be like, hey, we're going to train this person because
it means you have the patience as a trainer, for one, because it is hard to do that and like slow down and spend more time with someone.
What has been your experience in all of this, especially as a woman?
I feel like Yeah, I mean, you notice things like being the only woman in a room.
Obviously, yeah.
Certainly during the construction phase, like it did feel intimidating.
Oh my God, I can't.
Of like,
I feel intimidated when I'm around like contractors that have been working on. I'm like, I have no idea.
Like,
what
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing.
Right.
I know the bar.
Yeah.
So when it gets to that point, I think just believing in myself, as cheesy as that sounds, is just like, again, like I feel strong that I have something to say and something to do here. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to do it. And even if I fumble and say something silly or feel stupid or awkward in the room, I'm just, whatever. That's part of it, I guess.
One of the podcasts that I used to love to listen to, it's How I Built This. I think it was with Guy Raz, NPR.
Okay.
And he asked this great question, is how much of your success was based on luck and hard work? Like if you had to put a percentage on it, 60-40, 50-50.
Oh my gosh. I mean, maybe I was born with luck and the rest was hard work. I feel like luck, I think about like, I'm so lucky this opportunity arose. I'm lucky that John reached out.
Yeah.
But I don't think that luck would have come to me without hard work. Like he reached out because he saw my work. You know, I worked hard to get to Olame.
Right.
And that brought me more. So it's like, I do think you're jumping from hard work and luck kind of falls in between. I don't know. Depends on the day. Okay. Maybe 50-50 sometimes, but I think more hard work than anything because hard work brings you luck for sure.
Okay. What's next on your radar? What do you want to do?
Well, I love where we're at 3 years in. I feel like Holidays really made a name for itself. And like I said, we have a great team.
Yeah.
We feel really confident about our food and everything now. We have great clientele, regulars. So I think the next move we've been thinking about is a smaller bar, something that's a little more casual.
Yeah.
Definitely something else in Austin is the dream. Okay. So, yeah.
All right. Erin, that's all I got.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me gab.
Thank you so much for doing this. I know how busy you are. I know, all the effort that it takes to run this place. Now I know all the effort that it takes to run this place. So I can't thank you enough for taking the time out of the day to come talk to me.
Yeah, of course.
For people out there, come to Holiday.
Please.
Get yourself a good cocktail.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.